depends on the context.
Rearing for violent, barebacked, and dry-boned penetration and domination. Normally fine, but I am in a lobster mood tonight. No, you say. Waterworks is off the table. We have done flatworm for 4 consecutive nights. I am bored of flatworm, but I am not a sponge, and I contain no eggs. There is a pufferfish, I want to tell you, that works for 7 days straight, taking no breaks, eating no meals. I want to scream into you that he plows the sand with his body. He is both sculptor and chisel. He carves himself into the ocean floor, and his magnum opus, like an underwater crop circle, 7 feet wide by his 5 inches, flourishes only through his hard work, gains peaks and valleys, and boasts mouth-picked, shell-dotted outer rings of his design.
Miami, but you can't worship the tiny there, when it's all about catching the sky in your palms and holding the sea to your chest and spreading your limbs through the streets of Little Haiti, Little Havana, even though neither are little, and standing tall between avocado trees. So here we lay, backs arched against a water-swollen deck, thousands of miles and a border crossing away from Miami, the city we called home. I call home. We watch the Milky Way curve into the lake's skin and fall into swirls. Its structure wavers against the laws of gravity, but nothing can really fight the pull of water.
Isolated and serene. I never learned its name, though I wish I knew it now. So we drove south, and I watched through the window as the palace homes of the rich and the skyscraper condos and hotels that blotted out all but the quickest glimpses of the ocean began to dwindle, until there was nothing left but crashing waves and grassy dunes between us and the whole wide Atlantic that stretched into infinity in tandem with the horizon. Our destination was a simple sandy lot for parking, and my sisters and I pushed in to unload the chairs and boogie boards and towels. One look around told me that this tiny home was right about the isolation. There are no buildings in sight, and the coast was completely wild. The only hint humans had ever come to was a simple wooden bridge that carried beachgoers above the dunes and beach grass and cacti. There must have been a sign somewhere designating a state park or listing the rare plants and animals one could expect to see, but I don't remember any. How couldn't there be? No stretch of coast exists untouched if a hotel or condo developer has anything to say about it. We still have that moment, that terrible moment of self-awareness that reverberates down the centuries. It's especially hard for girls whose realization comes off as early as 9 or 10. Our hips grow wide and our nipples bald and aching lumps and wild hair sprouts almost overnight, and we are told that we now have sexuality. We saw that we were naked and were ashamed, and the rest of the world pointed and laughed. I'd give everything to go back before that moment, to live ignorant of that realization, and to run into the ocean's embrace, naked and unhindered, without even a niggling in my mind about what they will think. But the forbidden fruit is powerful, and you cannot forget a lesson so painfully learned.
Today, he called me teacher. A canoe on a lake with my father. The waters were still and opaque like frosted glass, until we paddled fiercely, chasing the floating ducks to the other shore, gasping in fits of laughter. A honeysuckle bush, alongside the gravel driveway of a Virginia farmhouse. Me, with more wrinkles and less hair, carrying a granddaughter atop my shoulders, teaching her how to taste the sweetness of our home. These moments are no more separated by time than the lake is divided by its water's ripples. This moment, budding from within me, an aqueous bloom, never wilting, only transmuting. Joys and energy, never created, never destroyed, only realized, appreciated, or forgotten. Thank you.